Earlier this year, in response to the Holy Spirit, the 219th General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church USA passed Overture 10A with the intent to restore the historic ordination standards of the denomination. As Presbyterians, we like to say that the Church is reformed and always reforming. Yet for the last 40 years, the Church has been struggling with Jesus' commandment to love one another and thus to learn to welcome all of our sisters and brothers equally. In the midst of this struggle for equality, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered Presbyterians, indeed all Presbyterians, have been terribly hurt. And yet it's heartening to note that our Church has passed this way before, faithfully changing its ordination standards, never more poignantly than in the struggle for women's ordination. We hear today from Peggy Howland, who over 52 years ago faced a hostile candidates committee where everyone on the committee was opposed to ordaining a woman. In her testimony at the General Assembly, Peggy shared her wisdom on women's equality in the Church, and it gives us a new perspective on the GLBT struggle for full equality and full inclusion in our Church today.
I was the 12th woman ordained a minister in the Presbyterian Church 52 years ago, only 2 years after women's ordination was approved. When I was taken under care of Philadelphia Presbytery, the entire candidates committee was opposed to the ordination of women, and you can bet they put me through my paces. But there was something that I knew that gave me the confidence to go on with a positive attitude and faith in God's leading. I knew that it was God's call and not my own idea. Pursuing ordination was a very difficult decision. I wasn't even sure women ought to be ministers. I had no role models, but I was in love with the Bible. I believed passionately in the overwhelming love of God for me and for all people, and I had a desire to share that love with others, even though some still did not believe God would call a woman to preach. Now, it was the presbytery's job to determine if they saw in me a call to ministry and gifts for it. They voted yes. And it was a congregation's job to recognize my gifts and call me to serve. And it became another presbytery's job to discern whether I, as a candidate with a call pending in Brooklyn, was to be approved for ordination. They voted yes. This is what we are now asking for gay and lesbian candidates who have the gifts, who believe that God has called them, and who have fulfilled their requirements. We are asking that congregations and presbyteries may make the decision to vote yes or no for that candidate. Those are our historic principles of ordination. In other words, we are asking you to let God decide whom to call, and for the Church to discern whether that person is truly called and ready.